Okay, here we are, and here is the issue of Somerset, and it was from, I need glasses. I can't even read anymore, you guys. I'll tell you what. August, September, October of 2023, yes. And I did put this in the text, but there are a lot of new followers here and new friends to our group. And so I want to just share a quick story of how I discovered my work was published in the magazine. This is a jelly print of mine that they turned into a full journal page within, which I absolutely loved. I've never been able to duplicate this jelly print ever again. So that's pretty amazing that it that they took that image and turned it into this journal page. But I was in Joann Fabric. I ran in Joann Fabrics to pick up a couple canvases for a project I was working on. And I realized it was August and that the new issue was coming out, and I knew that myself and a few other friends had all submitted for publication in this issue. So I hadn't heard one word from Somerset at that point, so I decided, well, I'm going to pick up the magazine because I would love to see if some of my other friends were published. And as I'm standing in Joann looking through the magazine, I come across my own work in the magazine, and I couldn't believe it. I squealed, and then I squealed with delight, and then told the person next to me that my work was published in the magazine, and I had no clue, and here it is. And so it was very exciting. And also Jody was published at the same time. I think she's in the page before me. Jody's in our group. Yeah, and here's Jody's work as well. And so it's just such a fun story to look back on. So Arlene, thank you for bringing this out again, like bringing this up in the feed and having us think about it, because it just goes to show you, you never know what's going to happen with your creativity and following your heart and the things that you want to create and make. Just do it, and let the chips fall where they may and see what happens. And okay, so here's the lovely little journal, and this journal took me, I think, like a full solid week to create, because I really reached into the depths of myself and things that I had always wanted to do but hadn't done yet, or hadn't combined the things in that fashion. And so this is a concertina book, which means that it folds out like an accordion, but it's not going to all fit in the frame here in one fell swoop. So I'm going to just go like this and show you the accordion feed. Okay, and then I will go back in and share. So this photo here, which is my logo photo, was taken at a dear friend's garden. They became like grandparents to our kids, and they were just the sweetest salt of the earth people, and just dear friends. And so this was in their garden, and the building here is actually a brown building. But because of the time of day that I took this photo, which is known as blue hour in photography, it casts this blue shade upon the image. And you see the image in all, and all my other stuff. It's a little bit different here because I have encaustic medium on it. So that was one of the things I really wanted to do. I absolutely love encaustic medium, and I love combining it with my photographs in basically whatever way I can. And so I printed the image on rice paper and then put encaustic medium on it. And so that's the cover here. And then underneath that I have what's like some tracing paper where I wrote prayers in white ink. So you can just barely see it, but it's there. Okay, and then on the inside page here, I have a couple more of my photos. And also in the background here, I have these vintage Bible pages that came from Teresa Kay. She's in our group, and she years ago sent me a collection of these vintage mini Bible pages that were from her grandfather. So this Bible is like from the late 1800s, and I still have a bunch of those pages, and I incorporate them into things whenever, but it's just such a sweet gift that she gave me to do, and then I always smile whenever I use them, thinking of her and just sharing something that was special to her. And to have those published in the magazine was really quite awesome. I thought it was just a great story to share. And so this technique here is on a piece of cheesecloth, and this is an image transfer that I did on cheesecloth. And then I think I went over it with watercolor to try and get it to, and it just made this beautiful effect, and I absolutely love how that looks. And then here's a few more of my images, again from The cosmos are from Eleanor's garden. This hummingbird was from my backyard. And these are more cosmos from Eleanor, our friend's garden. Here's more of the Bible pages. And then here on this one, I make these little, there's like a prayer written on the white tracing paper with white ink. And then there are these sweet little film strips that I make with encaustic medium and my images. And so I put that here, and this kind of hid where I stitched the accordion folds together, where I stitched the two pieces together to have the book fold. And so I just kind of hid those under there. Not that the stitches had to be hidden, but I just wanted to do that. Okay, and then here is another of that image. On top of these Polaroid-like photos that I have in here, I put on something called triple thick, which is basically like a latex sealer on top that protects the image. Okay, so here's the jelly print that they took and made into that large journal page, which was pretty cool. And this is the original here. And here are more of the images. And then this one here is an image transfer onto the cheesecloth, and then I used acrylics to add some detail to the imagery and just give it a really beautiful feel that I love. So that is the journal in a nutshell. And again, I just strongly encourage you to do all the creative things you want to do and just see what happens and just enjoy the process. And the reason why I feel that this was published and also shown multiple times throughout the magazine, I just reached deep into myself and shared something that I hadn't seen before that I wanted to share. So not that there's any new, nothing's new under the sun, right? But we all have things that we want to make and that means something to us. And so I just strongly encourage each one of us, myself included, to go ahead and embrace those things and do that and enjoy the process and submit to the magazines, because you never know when they might publish you. Okay, that's it for now, and I will see you guys soon.